What is up, everyone? It has been 3 weeks, 5 weeks, shit. At this point, I don't know anymore. But it's your girl, Miss Sophia the Diva. I am back here to do a live review and discussion of the few episodes that I have not reviewed of Real Housewives of Atlanta. As we open up this video, we do want to send prayers and thoughts and positive vibes out to those who were involved in a shooting at the Camp Creek location of Candy and Todd's restaurant, OLG. I still don't have details, but I just think that, that's just really sad that on the day that is reserved for love, somebody decided they wanted to go out and shoot up the place. That's not cute. And it definitely wasn't called for. And Todd and Candy did release a statement, basically saying that, their hearts and thoughts and prayers are with those who were involved in the shooting. Anyway, if this is your first time here for my YouTube people, please be sure to hit that subscribe button. Hopefully this video won't run too long because I'm kind of going to highlight some things that happened that led to this god-awful, very egregious act and attack towards Tanya, who is like the most positive. Oh my God, she is so happy. Tanya. And I'm just like, how could anyone be angry and mad at Tanya? And see, I didn't realize how much Kenya hated Tanya until I saw her constantly trying to imitate her while they were in Toronto. Okay, like after the game was already over, she was still trying to imitate Tanya. And I was like, God, you really are a hater. You don't like anyone who's happier or doing better than you or seem to be doing better than you. I mean, like Marlo said, and that said a lot coming from Marlo, but Marlo has always said that about Kenya. If you watch, Marlo did a live on her Instagram and she was talking about, something is wrong with that girl. Something is real. She's broken. I'm gonna pray for her. And I've always said that. So Kenya is a little girl is a broken girl in a grown woman's body. I've never seen anything like it. And then people who stand for Kenya, it was a big altercation on my Twitter. It was so bad until people started blocking me. But I'm like, I'm not going to touch and agree with you about some bullshit. Kenya has always, since she's been on the show, talked about, oh my God, I have such long, luscious, natural hair, and I don't wear wigs. And, she frowned upon people who were wearing wigs. And then people were like, she ain't never said that. I'm like, I love when Bravo did that montage of all the time she wanted to talk about her hair being natural. Okay. That's cool if you want to wear a protective style or whatever, but the bottom line is this: Kenya does not play fair. She is not a nice person. She probably could be. She probably wants to be a nice person, but doesn't have the tools she needs to succeed in being that nice person. So all I'm saying is that y'all can stand for Kenya all y'all want to, but Kenya is evil. And yeah, we all do probably need to be praying for her because I had never seen anything so vile and disgusting until last Sunday. I thought she was, I take that back. When she came for Phaedra and she showed up at a party with, what was those Dixie plates on her butt. I mean, it was just terrible. She always wants to be dramatic, but I'm like, girl, it's not working in your favor. You look a hot fool. And where you really look a hot fool is with, the fact that Mark talks to you like you just a child yourself. But either way, let me talk about Toronto real quick. So there was an episode, I think this was episode 12, when they had done the parade march, the carnival march, and they had a great time. Kenya was the only one who didn't have sneakers. And so anyway, next thing I know, they decide to have a talk about Snakegate, because the big deal is that Cynthia wanted to get down to the bottom of who has a recording of her allegedly saying something bad about Nene, which really doesn't matter because anything that Cynthia was saying was probably true. And how is she dragging someone when she's speaking the truth, right? So they want to get to the bottom of that. In addition, before that, they had a party and Dennis showed up and re-proposed to Portia and put a ring back on it. And that was also a topic of discussion when the ladies got back to the hotel room. First of all, let's just go and talk about this, because I want to talk about this. Nene, what the hell? Why would you come out full frontal with a titty out? I don't understand. Like, it was breast everywhere. And the thing about it is, she had to have planned that, because I don't know many women who walk around with petals on their breast. If y'all don't know what petals are, for the gentlemen who might be watching, that is the thing that women put on so that you can't see their nipple print, okay, through their bra. Because sometimes the bras that we buy, they don't, our nipples sometimes, when you get cold or, we get stimulated, sometimes they just show through the clothes. I didn't understand that part. I was like, why are you hanging your breast out? And I think it was Kenya. Somebody was like, why is her breast? Don't nobody want her in here. But needless to say, Cynthia and Marlo got into it. We see that Cynthia can get savage. I don't understand where out of anywhere Marlo came at Cynthia calling her a bald head scallywag. Then Ivana wanted to talk about, they asking her, are you the one who has the recording? Ivana's like, I just want to say that all of you are backstabbing each other. Y'all are just messing. Y'all just, first of all, Heifer, you just came to the game, okay? We don't know you like that. And who are you to tell us who we are and what we should be doing and how we should be doing it? Okay, like, what is that about? And so anyways, I couldn't understand why Ivana felt like she wanted to let the ladies know that they were all fake and phony. I don't get where she came from with that. Needless to say, we never really found out about Snakegate, but when Nene came on the scene, she basically let it be known that it was Ivana who has the recording, because they were out in the hallway. At one point, she told Ivana, look, man, I'm trying to help you out. When she said that, I fell out laughing. I was like, you can't help Ivana because she thinks she knows what's going on. And then on top of that, Ivana was asking Portia about Dennis and about, do you actually want to be with a man that slept with animals? And she was like, do you honestly think I would be with a man that slept with an animal? Really? And then, then she wanted to go in on Portia. Portia almost wanted to drag her ass for filth. She should have. I don't know if y'all know shit. Portia from Decatur, where it's greater. And Decatur today is not the Decatur she grew up in, okay? Ain't no little coffee shops were down and around there then. But I did want to see Portia beat her ass, but I don't want Portia to get dismissed from the show. Kenya and Nene almost came to blows too, but Kenya said she don't fight animals. Kenya said, I don't fight animals. And, we do have, Nene do sometimes get up and start acting like a wildebeest. But either way, I do love Nene, though. I do. Then I remember one time Nene, at some point, had told Ivana she need to stop wearing that blonde. I was like, hell, y'all, the blonde gang. Ivana, Marlo, and Nene all had on blonde hair that episode. And then next thing we know, Habu came out again. Oh, God. Either way, that night was a bust. Ivana ended up being sent home the next day, and then they got ready for the parade. That's what happened, because I'm trying to just do a brief overview there. But either way, Ivana got sent home, and I'm pretty sure production probably sent her home. And I found it interesting in this episode how at one point Cynthia was trying to encourage Eva to be nice to Marlo and give Marlo a chance, but then her Marlo ended up getting into it. After the parade, there was a dinner. Everybody was tired and exhausted, but they all had a really good time. And Marlo apologized to Cynthia for her behavior. I'm sure that is because Marlo wants to make sure that she can stay on the show, while she will not probably ever get a peach. But she does want to continue to be a friend of the show, as she will be in need of those checks. In In addition, this is when the wig trouble started. So Marlo notices that Kenya has on a wig. I noticed it too because I was like, that do look like a wig sliding a little bit to the. I lean over to the left. Okay, so she immediately started denying it. In addition, Kenya felt that it was in her best interest to ask and play devil's advocate about her girlfriends. If a girlfriend's husband or significant other, was cheating, would you want to know? And some people say, yeah, but you have to, have the facts right. But she kept looking at Tanya when she was telling this story about this gorgeous woman who approached this woman's man and he was trying to go home. He was trying to get her number and go home with her and all this stuff. And I'm thinking to myself, and then everybody at the table who knew, Cynthia was like, well, wait a minute. Oh my gosh, she's talking about Cookie Lady. Why would she bring that up? Cookie Lady, I think, what is the name of her cookie shop? Because is it Tiff's Cookies or something like that? But either way, it's next door to Cynthia's wine bar. And so allegedly this woman told the story that Tanya's fiance, Paul, was trying to get with her at this spot that they go to. Now, Tanya is not stupid, but Tanya also is kind of like me. I'll let you sit up there and run your mouth. I'm probably not going to say anything to you because I want you to go ahead and end up with foot and mouth disease. But either way, she kept going on and about how this woman was gorgeous. Now, we've all seen the Cookie Lady. I mean, she alright. I mean, maybe if she fix herself up, but she's just, she's a pretty light-skinned woman. I mean, I don't know, but I just thought it was really weird how she was doing it and how diabolical Kenya was when she was handling that. And then the producer lady asked King, well, why would you say something like that? And I was like, because she's diabolical and miserable. She's miserable. So either way, that was that episode. I think that episode was called Snake Bye. This episode was called A Hairy Situation. Kenya finds out that Tanya shared with the ladies at the spa because they went to the spa. I think it's this Korean spa that's over here in Gwinnett County. That Kenya had asked her to bring a package back. Of course, she looked inside the package because, as you know, anytime anyone, no matter who it is, asks you to take something across the border or on the airplane, you might want to look and see what that package is before you get on there. It was a charger and a wig. As if Kenya couldn't get another wig, but okay. And that's when, everybody let it out. She let it be known that Kenya wears a wig. And that is her tea on Kenya. Kenya, when she finds out about this, she's very upset and goes into this tirade about being the shade assassin and she's this and she's that. That's why she wore this palm tree dress because she's the queen of shade and all this stuff. And okay, so she has a successful natural hair business. But, I don't even know if anyone, I remember when I first moved to Atlanta in Cumberland Mall, there was a big Kenya Moore natural hair care product cart, but I haven't seen it since then. It was there. And then the next time I went back, it was gone. I don't know if that was for promo or whatever, but I just find it very interesting that she was upset that someone had discovered her having wore a wig. And then she kept talking about, well, the Cookie Lady is better than Tanya. And I'm like, well, they're both beautiful entrepreneurs. And why are you always being hateful and worried about other women? I mean, Kenya, your pageant days are over. You don't have to compete with these women. Okay. You've already won the crown. Okay. You don't have to compete. Then Tanya had also talked about how she was a little disturbed by a conversation she had with Kenya with regards to was that IVF, and Kenya was trying to push her to go ahead and have a baby. And Tanya really was uncomfortable with the topic. Now, while Tanya's probably like me, like where you go along with the conversation because you don't really want confrontation, but at the same time, you kind of like, why is she talking to me about this? This is awkward. And so I think that's where the confusion came in when I know people, oh, hey, cousin Nikki. they sent Ivana. I'm glad they sent Ivana home because they need to send that heifer home. She's crazy. But I feel in general that a lot of people don't understand the topic of motherhood and having children is a sensitive subject for some people. Especially now, I haven't gotten it. You know, people have been asking why you don't have any kids. I can't believe you don't have any children. And I'm just like, first of all, I don't think, I've ever been capable of having any, number one. And number two, at 43, I'm kind of just over it. I'm just like, I don't really want children and I like my freedom. That's all I can say. But anyway, it can get offensive and sensitive when you're talking about somebody's uterus. I am glad that Cynthia did let it be known that she did have a conversation with Tanya about the fact that Kenya was the one trying to insinuate that it was the cookie lady. I was glad. That's a real friend. Let's see what else happened. Portia doing Kenya at the table. Beautiful woman. So now, during this particular episode, Candy remained mute throughout the conversations at the spa with Tanya. Come to find out, the reason why Candy didn't say anything is because it was said off camera, offline, and she didn't know at the time if the footage was going to appear on the episode, okay, about the cookie lady. So that's why she didn't say anything about it. So I can respect that. Let's see what else happened in this episode. I think also in this particular episode, I'm talking about a hairy situation. Something came up with Eva having said something. I think Eva honestly probably don't remember half the shit she says. I think she goes into like this trance and becomes like this full-fledged shade tree thrower. I don't know, but I guess she be blacking out. And then when Portia was imitating Kenya while they were at the table, I guess Kenya just wants to believe that Tanya is ugly like her soul. I guess that's what it is. I mean, who could not like Tanya? Who couldn't? Also, let's talk briefly about Portia and Dennis, and also let's throw in Candy. So Portia and Dennis are back together, but they had to have a family meeting. Here's the thing with this situation. I don't know why Portia is shocked and surprised by how her dream of having a family with a husband and child did not work out right. First of all, don't nobody be offended. From a Christian perspective, you did everything out of order. When God operates, it's done decent and in order. You met this man, you started having sex with this man, you got pregnant, and you didn't know if you were going to get married or not, okay? You hadn't even known this man a month, apparently, before y'all started raw dogging. That's all I'm saying. So I'm trying to understand why you were confused and perplexed by how your relationship did not work out. It was like you were trying to perform a 90-day fiance fiasco. That's what it seems like. I don't understand, but you really should not be surprised. They had to have a family meeting. She was upset with Dennis's mother because he didn't contact her. They have this family round table. Lauren and her mother are going in. Miss Diane talking about, I didn't want Portia to grow up to be another single mother in this family. And I'm like, well, yeah, y'all kind of pushed her because her time clock was ticking. And I get it. You want to have a baby. But I don't understand. I really don't think that with Portia's situation, while this is something that she prayed for, I don't think this was God given and God blessed. I think that there may have been someone better for her, but I guess her and Dennis are going to try to make it work. I thought at one point, based upon an Instagram post, that maybe she had broke up with Dennis, but I guess they still together, child. I don't know. And honestly, I don't really care. Now, involving the family, I don't think that's necessary. And the reason why is because unless you are absolutely for certain sure that you are done with a person, do not involve your family, because it's only going to create chaos and confusion in the end. And that's going to be a problem. Okay. On top of that, y'all ain't married, so I don't see why y'all having a family round table about it. I really don't. Then Candy did her speak on it video, and she mentioned them. I think for this most recent episode, she was like, okay, Dennis and Portia. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just mentioning them because they were in the episode, but I really don't want to talk about them. I don't even like Dennis. And I was like, and needless to say that on Instagram, the Real Housewives of Atlanta page has posted where Portia seemed a little perturbed and upset that Candy didn't want to speak about her and Dennis. And I was like, Portia, you have to respect the fact that Candy did try to tell you the whole time when you were going in about, oh, Dennis this and Dennis that. I love Dennis and he's going to put a ring on it. We're going to have a baby. It's going to be wonderful. It's going to be great. And the whole time, Candy is like, do you not see the tattoos all over his body with different women's names on it? You must be blind. But at the time, Portia could not respect anything coming from Candy because Candy and her were frenemies at the time. They were on that level. So I understand it. But you should have opened your eyes and at least saw any man who got that many tattoos of women he has possibly slept with, I'm assuming. What does that say about you? Do you want to become a statistic? Okay. So needless to say, when it comes to Dennis and Portia, I want the best for Portia. Okay, I do. I really do. But at this point, baby PJ is here. Co-parenting might be the way to go. It's great that you all are in counseling and doing whatever you can to work on your relationship, but I just don't see it. And Portia, you can't get mad at Candy because Candy probably was raised, if you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Okay. So I don't see it. Then this week, we had Candy and Todd were talking about estate planning, which is good. Problem is, Mama Joy said that she wants to put everything in Riley's name because she don't think that Todd will take care of Riley. This is not the first time we've heard that. Mama Joyce don't want Candy's name on her house because Todd might come and take it. I don't understand. And then she told me, I was like, everything you have, Mama Joyce, damn near, came from Candy. She bought you one house. And then remember another season, she didn't like that house because a gentleman friend had fucked up the house. And then he done took all the plumbing and all kinds of stuff out here. In my mind, I was saying, Mama Joyce, are you dating a crackhead? Because they scrap for metal and, copper pipes and all that shit. Hell, they'll take that and sell it. But either way, I'm trying to figure out, besides the funds that you have from your pension, from you working at the post office, I'm trying to understand what you really got as far as in the state, other than what has been gifted to you. But some people were disturbed that Candy would even tell Todd that, but I'm like, it's going to come out anyway because Mama Joyce runs her mouth. It's going to come out. I don't like the fact that Mama Joyce is backpedaling about her relationship with Todd. That boy lost his mama. You said you were going to step up, and now you back to worrying about Todd taking your share of Candy's estate. It's really childish, and it's kind of like, you're too old to be this petty. But then again, I know of family members, like my grandmother. I don't know if she rested in peace, but this is the grandmother I really didn't get along with. She was one of those where she had a huge sibling pool. Now there's only one left, but she was one of those that would get upset when they would be splitting the estates of the siblings that may have passed on. Well, let those that don't have. And I'm like, but you have so much, and yet you don't do anything with it. So Mama Joyce is kind of on that level, and I just be looking like, girl, you really need to grow up. So that was a discussion. I was trying to figure out what was going on with Riley's makeup. Hey, I was trying to figure out what was going on with Riley's makeup because it looked intense. Okay. I was like, oh my goodness, what's going on? And then Candy trying to ask her about Kayla. And she was like, well, no, I didn't. I'm like, oh God, Riley. Riley is Eeyore. She really is. I like Riley. Now I'm talking about last week's episode. So, you know, Riley just, I don't understand, but I get it. You can't force relationships and interactions. That's her stepsister or whatever. But, you know, Kayla, that's Todd's daughter. And you didn't see Riley's makeup? Oh my God, it was awful. I said, well, maybe she was going to a gym in the holograms day party or something. I don't know what was going on. When the cookie lady, okay, I'm about to talk about that. When the cookie lady came, let's talk about that. That's this episode. But at the top of the episode, it was like Candy and Todd, and they were doing some little run-throughs with let's see what happened at the top of the episode, because I watched it from the middle to the back. Let's see. Just confirm. Okay. Yep. And then I'll be caught up, and then I'll try to stay consistent because I don't have to go to work tomorrow, so I don't care. I can stay up late tonight. Oh Lord. Okay. So that happened. That was one part of the episode. So they decide to meet up for brunch. It's Eva, Cynthia, Kenya, and Tanya, and a surprise guest. Okay. This had to have been one of the most childish stunts I'd ever seen pulled by a grown-up. Okay. Kenya comes in, you know, she speaks to everyone except Tanya. Tanya's like, hi, Kenya, hi. And she's just kind of like, and then, you know, Cynthia made a comment about her dress looking nice. And she was like, you know, I always have to look good before I have to drag a bitch. This is also when we find out how, no matter how much glitz and glam and money someone has, you can't take a bitch out the gutter. Okay. And that's exactly how Kenya was talking. Like she was straight up out the hood. Gutter snipe, in the words of Mother Ilyana Van Zandt. So, and then Kenya talking about, I'm a bear, I'm a sleeping bear. And I was like, you are a fucking bear, okay? She gonna tell Tanya, I'm a walking billboard for $1 million company, and you're affecting money coming out of me and my child's pocket. And I was like, is Mark not supporting the baby? I mean, he ain't supporting your ass. I mean, what's going on? And she talk about, if I want to wear a protective hairstyle one day, then that's what I'm going to do. And then just because you want to get with some rich man, and I mean, I don't know how you got your money or whatever. Tanya, first of all, Kenya, let me educate you. You should know better. She never takes ownership first. I can't with her. That her and Nene, Kenya and Nene are what do we call them? Twin souls, or you know what I'm trying to say. But they are so much alike because they both have mommy issues. The only difference with them is the fact that Nene cannot speak to her mother because her mother passed away before they could resolve their issues. Had Nene's mother lived, I think we would see a different Nene. Because both her and Kenya act like pick-me's. That's what they pick me. I gotta be seen. I gotta be seen. Because my mama didn't pay attention to me. And that's pretty much what Kenya, but Kenya called, they bleeped it out, but I figured out, I said, what is a worse word someone could call somebody on TV other than bitch? And I was like, cunt. She called Tanya a cunt. How classless and just, oh my God. I mean, you have no couth whatsoever if you're calling another woman that. And Tanya is educated. She's an RN. And let me tell you, some RNs make good money. Back in the early 2000s, when I got out of college and I was temping, I used to work at a hospital with a nurse practitioner who ran a certain section of the pediatric wing. And when I saw that nurses in the early 2000s were making like $80 an hour, Imagine how much some of them are making right now. And she invested in a lot of tech companies and startups. So Tanya is very well cared for. Okay. Um, then on top of that, she kept saying she don't wear the wig or whatever. But I'm like, you just said that you were wearing a protective style, Kenya. It's like you always say stuff and then you try to backpedal or act like you didn't say it. Like magically your words disappear and just evaporate from the atmosphere. It makes no sense. It's not steeped in reality. And I don't understand why anyone who stands for you can't see it. Then she was lying on Cynthia. And then she was telling Tanya about how she has a passion for having children. And then next thing we know, in walks the cookie lady, okay? And Kenya invited her. She comes in with these cookies. Tanya's like, don't come for me. I mean, not Tanya. Kenya's going in about how she came for her. First of all, since jump, Kenya, you are the one who came for Tanya. You came for Tanya by trying to make it seem like her man was out cheating. We don't know if Paul be out cheating. Maybe he did speak to the cookie lady and maybe she felt some type of way about, oh, he made between my legs go thump, 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 and I want him. But let me share that. She's not the only one, Cynthia under the bus, but she was also driving. Oh God. She just, Kenya amazes me. She is a very despicable individual. That's all I can really say. I'm really disappointed because y'all, when she won Miss USA, I was so excited for her. I think I was a teenager then. I may have been in college, but I was so happy. And I thought, oh my God, this beautiful Black woman just won Miss USA. And then now we see her here years later and you're so disappointed. It's like when you meet one of your favorite stars, like I'm going off the beaten path. But for instance, when I met Gina Davis, whom I absolutely love in The Long Kiss Goodnight and Thelma and Louise and all these other movies, I was so disappointed. She was so rude and she did not want to be bothered. And I was just like, that's disappointing, Gina Davis. But either way, it's kind of like that. That's how you see Kenya. But the cookie lady comes in because she wants to tell Tanya about her man. And the whole time Tanya is like, And I love how Tanya was telling Kenya, oh my God, I can't believe you speak like that. Oh my God, I did not call you out your name. That is how you handle savage beasts like Kenya Moore. Okay, that's how you handle them because they want you to clap back and say creative, twisted things about them. But I mean, the truth of the matter is they ain't even necessary. But for her to call her a cunt, I was like, that's some gutter snipe type behavior. The candy lady also got a little crunk with Tanya because Tanya was like, well, no, I know that. He told me the story. Wait, I'm trying to help you out, okay? Because I am gorgeous. I am beautiful, okay? And I can't help it. And I was like, when she said that, here's where my thoughts went. I said, Kenya wrote the script for Cookie Lady. There are too many parallels in her dissertation of her interaction with Paul and how she describes herself. Okay. I'm gorgeous. Notice how Kenya the whole time, oh, she's gorgeous. She's just gorgeous, darling. And I was just like, yeah, this is a setup. Y'all really need to try again. Cause I mean that whatever. If I was Tanya, I would have gotten up like Phaedra did that time and almost went smooth upside Kenya's head. That shit was funny because she was going to take that clutch and go upside her head. Tanya should have swung that Fendi bag or whatever it was she had with her and just knocked her the fuck out with it. What I was most disappointed about in this whole scene is how Eva, the queen of shade and able to navigate situations, was dumbfounded by the transgressions of what was going on. On top of that, I'm disappointed in Cynthia and Eva for eating the cookies. After this whole conflict, they get up, Cookie Lady and Kenya. And Kenya like, oh, girl, you can't be around my husband. Oh, you just can't be around my husband. I was like, no, nobody want to be around pompous ass Mark. Although I think Mark just don't like you. I think he would be different with another woman, but who knows? And then Cynthia turns around, comes back for cookies. I'm like, oh my God. Tanya just had this horrible situation, confrontation happen, and y'all are worried about cookies. And then Eva was in her confessional talking about, I'm sorry, them cookies were delicious, but it was the baby. Blame Maverick. It's like, oh my God, now y'all can blame it on the baby. Oh, now the other half of the show mainly focuses on Cynthia and Mike, and this is when we find out things about Mike. I love how when Cynthia was telling Mike all the stories about the confrontation that happened and the facial expressions, Mike like, oh my God, how much longer is this? Oh my God, you girls need to grow up. And I love his commentary afterwards. He was like, next time you girls get together, let me know because I'll bring you some juice boxes and cookies. And I was like, and you probably should also bring a sandbox. It'll be fun. Let's all get together. So, Mark and Kenya also have a moment in here where he's looking at Cynthia Bailey's event space. I doubt they're going to go with that space because there's not a kitchen in there and he needs a kitchen. And then Kenya was sitting up there. He was like, okay, this is what I want. Bang, 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 bop, bop, bop. And Kenya's like, I just want to say something. He would not let her get a word in edgewise, but he did kind of show her some sort of affection in a homeboy type way, like you my homegirl, boo. And the producers asked her about that, and she was like, once he's focused, that's just what he does. And I notice every time they ask her about Mark, Kenya immediately starts giggling and sniggling. And I'm like, because there is nothing to say or justify his behavior towards you, but you get what you put out. That same energy you put out towards Tanya, is the same energy Mark is giving your dumb ass. So there you go. He calls Mark for a guy's night out. And Kenya was like, well, all of us can go. He was like, no, I really just want the guys to go. And I was like, the truth of the matter is, Kenya, is that Mark honestly does not mind he doesn't mind at all with going out with everyone, including the other ladies. Just not you. He doesn't like you. Unless y'all doing this shit for a storyline, which is fucked up. Anyway, what else happened? Oh, then Cynthia ends up, her and Mike are hosting a house party. His daughter is there. We learned that Mark Hill has not been faithful to either one of his wives. Cynthia even questioned, could he be faithful to her? And I'm like, but Cynthia, you would jock in for a ring. You would like, oh, I want him to marry me. And I think the good thing about Mark is that at least he's got his own. He's established. He probably won't be dipping in her savings and 401k and Fidelity and her investment management accounts and all of that. So her credit score will stay good. Okay. But it was very telling that Mike, who works as a sports anchor, doesn't have a lot of male friends. He has some pretty attractive female friends. There was one in there that looked a little butch, but he probably would give a hug to him. Tell y'all some unseen some things. He probably would give a hug. But let me not say that. I think the word is stud. She looked a little studdish. But I was just like, Cynthia, girl, we don't want to end up in the same situation we were in with Peter Pumpkin Eater, had a wife and couldn't keep her. So needless to say, he was talking about how he ain't never been in love until he fell in love with Cynthia. And I think that's when Kayla kind of lost it, because no child wants to hear that their father didn't love their mother, which makes it seem like they come from a loveless relationship. I also think it was very inappropriate for them to have the conversation. I do like the fact that they did try to get Kayla to be okay, but she was like, there's really nothing y'all can do. She seemed very hurt and upset and disappointed by that. But I don't know. We're gonna have to keep our good eye on that Mike Hill. Did I say Mike? I call him Mark. Mike Hill. Yeah, is that his name? Yeah, Mike Hill. I don't know why I'm getting these people confused. Mark and oh gosh, Michael. Oh God. Also, congratulations to the Sterlings. Marley is officially a Sterling. She's very happy about that. I kind of grew up in a situation where I had a different last name from my family because my mother married, and then I tried to be, but I'm kind of glad. I like having my last name that I do have. It does set me apart from the pack. And I am a little different from the rest of my family. But either way, that pretty much in a nutshell, I probably went over the hills and through the mountains talking about this. But overall, Portia and Dennis, this is where you at. You did everything ass backwards. Okay. You should have gotten to know each other. You should have gotten engaged, married, and then had a baby. That's divine order. Now, the modern day way of doing things outside of that, yeah, you did all the right things. You just went buck wild, and now here you are. You somebody's baby mama, you baby daddy. So there you go. Hopefully they get married, but we'll see. Candy and Todd. Candy, at some point you're gonna have to address Mama Joyce, and because you love your husband, and Todd feels so, I wouldn't say like, I think he probably feels alone in the situation sometimes. So what else? Kenya, gutter snipe. Throw the rock, hide your hand. She's devious, and she's almost 50 years old and is still playing teenage pageant mean girl shit games. I don't see it. Tanya, keep shining. Nene will be back this week. I forgot what's going on this week, but either way, Nene will be back. Word on the street is that either Nene is trying to quit or Bravo is trying to phase her out. But I'm sorry, this show just wouldn't be a show without Nene. Y'all can take Kenya off. I mean, don't nobody need that kind of negativity on their TV every week. I think that's it. But thank you guys who did join the conversation. I appreciate it. I know it's been a while. I kid you guys not. I am always exhausted when I come home. I'm exhausted on Sunday night just thinking about going to work. And it is not because I don't like my job, my career. The problem is that it's like so much work and it's so mentally exhausting until I'm just like, oh my God, all I can do, this is my day. I get up, I take the dog out, I get ready for work, and I go to work, and then I come home and take the dog out, and then I get in bed or take a shower, or sometimes I don't even eat. That's probably a good thing because I've lost a few inches because I was able to get back into my Calvin Klein skinny jeans today. I was so excited. But I'm that's why I haven't been doing videos. I'm also trying to get back on stage. I did a one-day seminar with my comedy coach out of California that I used to go to all the time. And I thought that would get me rejuvenated. I was ready to go. But every night I'm at work until 7, 8 o'clock at night. And I've been in there sometimes from 8 or 9 o'clock in the morning. So that's why you haven't seen me, but I'm going to try to do it. And some people are asking me to do my live review of Power. I will do it tonight after Real Housewives of Atlanta. We can talk about how we all are feeling about that series finale, which really isn't a series finale. There's just a continuum of 4 other shows coming out. So that's all I've got. Again, for my YouTube people that are watching, if this is your first time here, subscribe. What else? What's shaking my head? What, Coco? What else? I think that's it. But I'm excited to be back. Hopefully I can stay consistent. I'm probably gonna have to, I don't know how to feel about it. I like Power. I think Tasha got exactly what she deserved. That I do believe, because she was doing Team Too Much. Okay, you had a good man that was loving you down, and you're gonna try to set him up. That's a lesson right there in it. If somebody asks you for a ride, they tell you to wait, get out and go somewhere where the cameras are. Go get you a Red Bull, or in my case, I'll get Cherry Coke. All right, or a package of Lay's potato chips. But either way, we're going to talk about that after tonight's episode. I'm definitely going to do it after tonight's episode of Real Housewives of Atlanta. I know I'm late to the plate, but I still want to talk about it. It's therapeutic. I enjoy it. Anyways, I've been Miss Sophia the Diva. And remember, as I always like to sign off and say, chin up, buttercup, the sun will come out. I promise you. But in the meantime, in between time, stay fabulous. Good night.